Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another video. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you will be updated on all my future content. So this live stream is going to focus on subtraction with regrouping, particularly for problems where you have to regroup in both the ones and tens place. So our first example problem is 312 minus 189, and I'm going to go through step by step how to solve that problem. So the first step is always to see if regrouping is needed, and we regroup whenever there is a bottom digit that is bigger than the top digit. So looking at this number, looking at these two numbers, in the tens place, 8 is bigger than 1. You cannot start out with 1 and take away 8, so we will need to regroup in the tens place. 9 is also bigger than 2. You cannot start out with 2 and take away 9, so we're also going to need to regroup in the ones place. So whenever we need to regroup with both numbers, whenever we need to regroup in both the ones and tens place, what I would say is go left to right. And we start in the hundreds place. We take away a 1, and then we add a 10. So the 3 becomes a 2, the 1 becomes an 11. Now that's only the first step. We're not done yet. Now to regroup in the ones place, we have to add a 10, so the 2 becomes a 12. And then we have to go back and take away 1, and that 11 is also going to become a 10. Then once all the regrouping is complete, you start in the ones place and you subtract. 12 minus 9 equals 3. 10 minus 8 equals 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1. And we have our final answer, 312 minus 189 equals 123. 312 minus 189 equals 123. All right, moving on to the next example problem. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. It's the Mr. C. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. Shout out to Mr. C. All right, we have 700 minus 585. So again, we check if regrouping is needed, and it's clear that it is needed in both the ones and the tens place. So we're going to regroup from left to right, and then we subtract from right to left. So we regroup by adding 10 to the area that needs regrouping and then taking away 1. So I always say whenever you need to regroup more than one number, you start going from left to right. So the 7 becomes a 6, we take away 1. Then that 0 becomes a 10. We've added 10 to the area that needed regrouping, and then we took away 1. Now in the ones place, we also have to regroup. Same steps, add 10, take away 1. So the 0 becomes a 10. Now this 10, we have to take away 1 from, because that's where we're taking the 10 from, and that becomes a 9. And now we are ready to subtract. Ten minus 5 equals 5. 9 minus 8 equals 1. 6 minus 5 equals 1. And we have our final answer. 700 minus 585 equals 115. All right, moving on to the next example problem. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. I am so glad you're here. All right, next problem. And the focus for this video, for everybody that just tuned in, is subtraction with regrouping. Subtraction with regrouping in both the ones and tens place. $617 minus 589. So we see if regrouping is needed, and here it is needed in both the ones and tens place. You can't start with 1 and take away 8. You can't start with 7 and take away 9. So we regroup from left to right, and then we subtract from right to left. So the 6 becomes a 5, the 1 becomes an 11, the 7 becomes a 17, and then we have to take away 1 from the tens place. So that 11 becomes a 10. And now we are ready to subtract. So starting in the ones place, 17 minus 9 equals 8. Ten minus 8 equals 2. 5 minus 5 equals 0. You could put a 0 in the hundreds place, or you could just leave it blank. Either way, correct answer. But we have our final answer, 617 minus 589 equals 28. All right, moving on to the next example problem. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. It's the Mr. C. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. Shout out to Mr. C. So next example problem, 424 minus 239. Step 1, we check if regrouping is needed, and it is needed in both the ones and the tens place. So we start from left to right. We take away 1, and then we have to add 10 to both the areas that need to be regrouped. So we take away 1, that 4 becomes a 3. Then the 2 becomes a 12. The 4 becomes a 14 because we're adding 10 to both areas that need to be regrouped. Now the final step, and this is a step that a lot of times it's easy to forget, you have to take away 1 in the tens place. So that 12 becomes an 11. Because we took away 1 to add 10 in the tens place, so then we have to take away 1 in the tens place to add 10 to the ones place. And now we can subtract. So now we're going to go all the way to the right and start in the ones place because we regroup from left to right, and then we subtract from right to left. So 14 minus 9 equals 5. 11 minus 3 equals 8. 3 minus 2 equals 1. And we have our final answer, 424 minus 239 equals 185. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Please hit that like button if you have not already. All right, I will do one final problem, and then we are probably going to call it a live stream. Change that. There we go. So 521 minus 178. So step 1, we check if regrouping is needed, and it is. Regrouping is needed in the tens and the ones place, and we know that because the bottom digit is bigger in both the tens and the ones place. You can't start with 2 and take away 7, and you can't start with 1 and take away 8. So step 1, we take away a 1 from the hundreds place. That 5 becomes a 4. Then we're adding 10 to both the tens place and the ones place. The 2 becomes a 12. The 1 becomes an 11. One more step before we're done regrouping. Now we took away 1 from the hundreds place to add on to get the 10 that we needed to add to the tens place. To get the 10 we needed to add to the ones place, we have to take away 1 now from the tens place. So that 12 becomes an 11. And now we are ready to subtract. So starting in the ones place, 11 minus 8 equals 3. 11 minus 7 equals 4. 4 minus 1 equals 3. And we have our final answer. 521 minus 178 equals 343. All right, that is my live stream for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. And if there is an area of math or reading that you're having difficulty with, put that in the comments and I will try to do a future video on that skill. Until next time, this is Mr. Camilleri signing off.